What if I told you the difference between someone who ages slowly at 70 and someone who collapses at 65 is written in 4 repair systems, and all 4 systems hit a cliff at almost exactly the same time? Not gradually, a cliff. The research I am about to walk you through took me 3 months to synthesize because the papers are published in 4 separate journals, and the fields do not talk to each other. Cardiology sees one piece, neurology sees another, oncology sees a third. Nobody connected them until about 2 years ago. This is the synthesis. 4 mechanisms. 1 decade. Your DNA either survives or it does not. The human genome, 3 billion base pairs, is not a static blueprint. It is a living document that gets edited, copied, damaged, and repaired roughly 10,000 times per day in every cell you have. At age 30, your cells can keep up with that workload. The repair crews show up on time. The damage gets fixed before it compounds. At age 60, the system changes. Not because you did something wrong, because 4 specific molecular pathways that maintain your DNA for 6 decades all decline at once. I have reviewed the cohort data on this. The age range where the acceleration happens is narrow. For most people, it starts between 58 and 63. Once it starts, the damage rate goes exponential. I spend my time reading peer-reviewed papers. The average clinician does not have time to read. That is not criticism. That is a structure. A primary care visit is 15 minutes. A paper like the one I am about to cite is 40 pages of supplementary data. So let me translate what those 40 pages say. Mechanism 1. Telomere attrition. Your chromosomes have protective caps at both ends called telomeres. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Every time a cell divides, the telomeres shorten slightly, because the DNA copying machinery cannot replicate all the way to the end. For most of your life, this shortening is slow and manageable. You lose about 30 base pairs per year between ages 20 and 60. Then something changes. Elizabeth Blackburn won the Nobel Prize in 2009 for discovering telomerase, the enzyme that rebuilds telomeres. Her team ran a 9-year longitudinal study published in 2015, tracking 239 adults aged 58 to 86. They measured telomere length every 18 months. Here is what they found. The shortening rate doubled after age 63, from 31 base pairs per year to 67 base pairs per year. In some individuals, it tripled. The mechanism behind the acceleration is that telomerase activity itself drops by 40% between ages 60 and 70 in most somatic cells. The enzyme that is supposed to protect you burns out right when you need it most. Now the numbers. The average telomere length at birth is about 10,000 base pairs. By age 60, you are down to roughly 5,000. At the faster post-60 attrition rate, you lose another 1,500 base pairs in the next decade. When telomeres drop below 3,000 base pairs, the cell enters what is called replicative senescence. It stops dividing. It does not die. It just sits there secreting inflammatory signals. By age 70, in a typical aging trajectory, 15 to 20% of your cells are senescent. That percentage is the difference between functional tissue and failing tissue. Your skin, your arteries, your gut lining, your immune system, all running on a shrinking pool of cells that can still divide. The second mechanism is methylation drift. DNA methylation is a chemical modification, a methyl group attached to a cytosine base, that controls which genes get turned on and which stay off. It is your body's volume knob for gene expression. You have about 28 million methylation sites across your genome. For most of your life, those sites stay stable. The patterns you established in early development hold. Then around age 60, the stability breaks. Steve Horvath at UCLA built what is now called the epigenetic clock in 2013. He identified 353 specific methylation sites that change predictably with age. His model can estimate your biological age within 2 years, just by reading the methylation pattern at those sites. The clock is more accurate than any other biomarker of aging we have. Here is the critical finding. The methylation clock does not tick at a constant rate. It accelerates. Between ages 50 and 60, the average person's biological age matches their chronological age within about 2 years. Between ages 60 and 70, the gap widens. The biological age overshoot, where your methylation pattern says you are older than your calendar age, averages 7 years by age 70 in people with high oxidative stress. What drives the drift? Two things. First, the enzymes that maintain methylation patterns, DNA methyltransferases, become less accurate after age 60. They start adding methyl groups to the wrong sites and failing to maintain existing sites. Second, the methyl donor pool in your cells, S-adenosylmethionine, also called SAM, declines by about 30% between ages 60 and 70. Less substrate means less precision. The genome-wide result is that genes that should stay off start leaking on, and genes that should stay on start shutting down. Tumor suppressor genes, DNA repair genes, mitochondrial genes. The regulatory system that kept them in the right state for 60 years loses its grip. Let me pause here, because I need to explain what this feels like from the inside. You do not wake up one morning and notice your methylation drifted. What you notice is that you are tired in a way that sleep does not fix. You notice that a cut on your hand that used to heal in 5 days now takes 11. You notice that you get a cold and it lingers for 3 weeks when it used to clear in 1. Those are downstream effects of gene expression going off script. The fatigue is mitochondrial genes underperforming. The slow healing is immune repair genes losing coordination. The prolonged infection is the same. Methylation drift does not announce itself. It announces its consequences. Mechanism 3. Mitophagy failure. Mitochondria are the energy factories in your cells. You have between 1,000 and 2,000 mitochondria per cell, depending on the tissue. They produce ATP, the molecule that powers everything. They also produce reactive oxygen species as a byproduct. A small amount of ROS is fine. Your cells have antioxidant systems to handle it. The problem is damaged mitochondria. A mitochondrion with a broken membrane or a mutated genome produces 10 times more ROS than a healthy one and makes almost no usable ATP. Your cells have a quality control system to get rid of damaged mitochondria. It is called mitophagy. Autophagy for mitochondria specifically. Ana Maria Cuervo's lab at Albert Einstein published a study in 2018 looking at mitophagy efficiency across age groups in human fibroblasts. They compared cells from people aged 25 to 40 with cells from people aged 60 to 75. The older group showed a 60 to 70% reduction in mitophagy. The pathway is called PINK1/Parkin. PINK1 is a protein kinase that tags damaged mitochondria. Parkin is an enzyme that wraps the tagged mitochondrion in a membrane and delivers it to a lysosome for breakdown. After age 60, both PINK1 expression and Parkin activity drop. The tagging system fails. Damaged mitochondria accumulate. Here is the math. A healthy mitochondrion in a muscle cell produces about 1 superoxide molecule per 100 ATP molecules. A damaged mitochondrion produces 1 superoxide per 10 ATP. If 15% of your mitochondria are damaged and not cleared, you are generating 3 to 4 times more oxidative stress per unit of energy. That oxidative stress damages your DNA. Which brings us to mechanism 4. Base excision repair. Your DNA takes hits constantly. Ultraviolet light, environmental toxins, normal metabolic byproducts like hydrogen peroxide. The most common type of DNA damage is oxidative. Reactive oxygen species, superoxide, hydroxyl radical, hydrogen peroxide, react with the bases in your DNA and create lesions. The most studied lesion is called 8-oxoguanine. It is a guanine base that has been oxidized. If left unrepaired, 8-oxoguanine causes a mutation when the DNA is copied, because it pairs with adenine instead of cytosine. Your cells have an enzyme called OGG1 that finds and removes 8-oxoguanine. Another enzyme called APE1 cuts the DNA backbone and a polymerase fills in the correct base. This is base excision repair, BER. Wilhelm Bohr's lab at the National Institute on Aging tracked BER activity in white blood cells from people across the lifespan. They published multiple papers between 2016 and 2020. Here is what they documented. In people aged 30 to 40, OGG1 finds and removes an 8-oxoguanine lesion in about 20 minutes on average. In people aged 65 to 75, the same lesion takes 90 minutes to repair. The repair machinery is still there. It is just slower, less efficient. The enzymes are expressed at lower levels and they move through the nucleus more slowly because the chromatin structure becomes more condensed with age. The consequence is that unrepaired lesions pile up. By age 70, the average cell accumulates about 12,000 new oxidative DNA lesions per day. Most get repaired eventually, but the lag time means that at any given moment you have thousands of lesions sitting in your genome waiting for repair. Some of those lesions are in critical genes: tumor suppressor genes, DNA damage response genes, mitochondrial genes. If a lesion in TP53, the guardian of the genome, gets copied before it gets repaired, you now have a cell with a TP53 mutation. That cell has lost its main brake on uncontrolled division. It is one step closer to cancer. Now here is where these four mechanisms converge. They are not independent. Telomere shortening triggers a DNA damage response that consumes NAD+. Methylation drift silences mitophagy genes. Mitophagy failure increases ROS, which creates more DNA damage, which overwhelms base excision repair. Burr failure allows mutations in telomerase genes and methylation maintenance genes. It is a network. Each pathway failing makes the others fail faster. The unifying molecule is NAD+, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It is a cofactor required by three major enzyme families: PARP1, which repairs DNA strand breaks, sirtuins, which maintain methylation and chromatin structure, and complex 1 in the mitochondrial electron transport chain. Charles Brenner and David Sinclair have published extensively on this over the last 15 years. NAD+ levels drop 50% between ages 40 and 60. Then, they drop another 30% by age 75. You are running the same repair machinery on half the fuel. Actually, less than half, because the NAD+ that remains gets consumed faster as the damage accelerates. Let me give you the timeline. At age 60, your NAD+ is down to about 50% of youthful levels. Your telomerase activity is dropping. Your methylation maintenance is starting to drift. Your mitophagy is slowing. Your BER is getting less efficient. The system is stressed, but still functional. Between ages 60 and 65, the declines steepen. Telomeres shorten faster. Methylation patterns become noisier. Senescent cells start accumulating in meaningful numbers. Those senescent cells secrete inflammatory cytokines, IL-6, IL-1 beta, TNF-alpha, at 10 to 40 times baseline levels. This is called inflammaging. Claudio Franceschi coined that term. He published a major review in 2018 summarizing 30 years of research. The inflammatory cytokines secreted by senescent cells do not just cause inflammation, they actively inhibit the repair systems I just described. IL-6 downregulates telomerase. TNF-alpha disrupts DNA methyltransferases. IL-1 beta impairs mitophagy. The cytokines create a feedback loop. More damage leads to more senescent cells, which leads to more inflammation, which leads to more damage. By age 70, in a typical aging trajectory, you have crossed into exponential territory. The repair systems cannot keep up. The damage compounds daily. Here is where I need to be careful. I am not saying everyone hits this cliff at the same age. The spread is wide. Some people maintain robust repair into their 80s. Others start declining at 55. Genetics plays a role. APOE4 carriers have faster methylation drift. Variants in TERT, the telomerase gene, affect telomere maintenance. But lifestyle plays a larger role. Chronic stress accelerates telomere loss by 30 to 50% through cortisol's effect on oxidative stress. Sedentary behavior reduces mitophagy by about 40% compared to regular exercise. A diet high in processed seed oils increases lipid peroxidation, which creates more DNA damage. Sleep deprivation below 6 hours per night consistently doubles the rate of methylation drift. Now the paradox I want to address. Exercise increases reactive oxygen species production acutely. You work out and your mitochondria generate more superoxide. Yet exercise consistently extends lifespan and health span in every study ever done. How does that make sense? The answer is hormesis. The acute ROS burst from exercise triggers an adaptive response. Your cells upregulate antioxidant enzymes, superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione peroxidase. They increase mitophagy. They boost DNA repair capacity. The short-term stress makes the system stronger. The key word is acute. Chronic oxidative stress from poor diet or inflammation or smoking does not trigger adaptation. It just damages. The dose and the pattern matter. I keep coming back to this question. Why does the decline hit so hard around age 60? Why not a smooth, gradual slope from age 20 to age 80? The answer seems to be threshold effects. Each repair system has redundancy built in. You can lose 20 or 30% of capacity and the backup mechanisms compensate. But once you cross about 50% loss, the backups fail. Telomeres below 4,000 base pairs trigger senescence. Methylation noise above a certain threshold disrupts gene networks. Mitophagy below a critical rate allows damaged mitochondria to outnumber healthy ones. Bird lag time above a certain threshold allows mutations to fix in the genome faster than selection can remove them. The system is nonlinear. It tolerates damage up to a point and then it breaks. If you want the practical version of this information, what you do about it, that is a different video. This video is the mechanism, the why. I built a protocol around these 4 pathways. It is linked below. The mitochondrial reset protocol addresses NAD+ support, methylation substrates, mitophagy induction, and BER cofactors. It is designed specifically for the 60+ age group where the decline is steepest. The ebook walks through the logic step by step with citations. It is not magic. It is molecular biology applied to the decade where it matters most. What I want you to take from this is that DNA aging after 60 is not mysterious. It is 4 well-documented mechanisms hitting a threshold at roughly the same time. The age range is predictable. The molecular players are known. The feedback loops are mapped. The intervention points exist. Whether you are 55 and want to delay the cliff, or 68 and want to slow the descent, the same biology applies. Your DNA is not passively decaying. It is being damaged faster than it is being repaired. The balance tipped. The question is whether you understand the fulcrum well enough to push back. The research on this is about 10 years ahead of clinical practice. Most primary care doctors are not reading Horvath's methylation papers or Cuervo's mitophagy studies or Bohr's BER kinetics. They are treating symptoms, statins for cholesterol, metformin for blood sugar, antihypertensives for blood pressure, all of which may be necessary, but none of which address the 4 pathways I just described. If you want to intervene at the level where aging is actually happening, you need to understand the mechanisms. That is what I do here. I translate the papers the clinic does not have time to read. If this is the kind of breakdown you want more of, mechanism first, citation heavy, no shortcuts, the channel is built for that. The subscribe button is below. I post 1 video like this per week. Next week I am covering the thyroid-mitochondria connection that most endocrinologists miss. The week after that I am walking through the latest data on autophagy induction without fasting. Long form. Detailed, respectful of your intelligence. Your DNA at 70 does not have to look like your DNA is dying. It can look like your DNA is under repair. The difference is whether the 4 systems I described are supported or ignored. You now know what they are. You now know why they fail. The rest is execution. That is the biology. That is the timeline. That is the cliff. Thank you for watching.